Jackson Podcast.
Hey man, it's a dope collaboration, a dope conversation. I got my dog J Doug on the show, man. How you doing today, my brother, man? Plug your platform before we get into the conversation, and let's get to it.
Yeah, this is J Doug, at J Doug Show on YouTube. Also, every morning, Monday through Saturday, I updated the schedule. We will be doing a live. I ain't mad at you morning show, and look out for me on YouTube, J Doug. Type that in, J Doug at J Doug Show, because there's a whole bunch of J Dougs on YouTube.
I noticed that too, fam, and I put at J Doug
Crazy.
Show in the platform. I'm gonna put a link in the description on my channel too, and if you don't mind, put a link in the description on your channel for people to tap in with me, man. I would highly appreciate it. But I want to ask you before we get into this conversation, because Fat Joe and Joe Budden's conflict is going viral right now. Who is the top 3 podcasts that Doug listened to?
That's a good question. And you know what? You talk about traditional podcasts.
Just in totality, since podcasts created and all that shit.
Okay. Oh my God, that's a good freaking question. Cause my podcast listens done evolved so much over the years. I would say my regular top podcast at this point will be Antoine Daniels. What he does, I'll probably watch him the most. And I can look at I'm just looking at my YouTube. Antoine Daniel, DJ Academics.
Okay.
I would consider his stream to be a podcast that I listen to on the regular. And probably Jason Whitlock after that. Fearless.
I forward Whitlock too, though. Even though some of them takes, boy, Jason Whitlock be going crazy on some of them takes. And I like his beef with Stephen A. Smith. He been going crazy on Stephen A. Smith for a long time.
Yeah, he been on top of Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp for a minute.
Anton Daniels. Who was the second one?
Who did I say second?
You said
Antoine Daniels, Jason Whitlock, and I can look at it right here. DJ Academics.
DJ Academics. Okay, I like
that.
Yeah,
that's what I listen to probably the most. And then you got a lot of other stuff that in there. Jesse Lee Peterson. I don't listen to him as much as I used to back in the day. I listened to a guy, Defiant, with Brandon Tucker. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He got a good show.
I've heard of Defiant, but I haven't really tapped into it to a heavy degree. I rock with DJ Academics heavy, but I wouldn't put him in my top 3 though. For my top 3 of all time, number 3 will have to be the Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne and
I haven't listened to Brilliant Idiots in about 5 years, bro. I used to listen to them what these come out Wednesdays?
They come out on Fridays now. They trying to keep up.
When need to come out before?
Wednesday. You right?
Wednesday, yeah. I ain't listened to them in probably over 5 years, bro. Ever since Charlemagne went super left, I just stopped listening to the Brilliant Idiots. I remember the episode because I think that episode, it was the episode Andrew Schultz, he came in and he was like, I think Trump had just got elected and he was talking that Talk One podcast on some right-wing shit. And Charlemagne came on the show, I think that next week, talking like he was going to leave because people were calling him alt-right Andy and all that stuff had happened. That was around that time. And when I seen that, I said, man, I just stopped listening to Brilliant Idiots. But that's cool. Yeah, that's the one I started off with. That's the OG podcasters.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you still listen to them.
I listen to them every time they drop too.
I don't even catch their clips, bro.
Damn, you all way out the algorithm, ain't it?
I don't even touch nothing Charlemagne does unless it's really necessary. Breakfast Club.
I really ain't a fan of Charlemagne. I'm just a fan of I'm not a fan of nothing. I took that when I heard that from Star too, also, which is my second favorite podcast is the Star Report. But
okay, yeah, I gotta put that in there too.
Yeah, I gotta put the OG in our Star for some reason. He just he gotta go in there because I've been listening to that nigga before the hot dang on iPhone was created. But
Yeah.
you know, the brilliant idiots, I say I give them you know, I'm one of them type of people, though, that I was on the counsel train and counseling niggas and counseling rappers for the shit that they say. But I'm more about awareness nowadays because I feel like at the end of the day, I can't counsel a human. I feel like that's lame shit now at this point in my life. I just want to make people aware of the dumb shit that niggas do. So I can listen to people even if I agree or disagree with them. So that's why I say I deal with the brilliant idiots. I like how they deal with the topics. I don't agree with Star. None of the shit that he say, really, most of the time. But I like that nigga in the way he's objectivity, how he promotes objectivity. Because if you live through objectivity, you can't have no feelings really. You can't be emotional. You can't be no emotional nigga if you objective. So I give it to Brilliant Idiots, the Star Report, and then I got to give Joe Budden podcast as the GOAT Potter.
Okay. Yeah, I accept those. Only thing I would say about Charlemagne is with him, it just I don't think he's being authentic anymore. You
Mm.
know, to me. So that's why I fell off of him because Charlemagne at his peak was here, and a lot of allegations stuff came out, and it seemed like they just cut his balls off. So I'm like, I ain't gonna listen to a nigga with no balls.
I agree with you in that statement though, but you know what I feel like about, and we're gonna get into the topics here in a second though, but what I feel like about that though, Doug, is that when people are a part of organizations or they are part of industry situations and they are under contract, they be fuck niggas. If you ain't doing
Mhm.
nothing, if you ain't doing it independently, you got to be obedient to the person that's cutting the check or
Yeah.
lose your job. Charlamagne been obedient for 15 years, man. With our
And
heart
that's
and
another thing I don't like about Charlemagne too, because I feel like at a certain point, as a man and as your career, you supposed to leave that situation, leave the white man behind at some point. You know what I mean? But I feel like Charlemagne feel like he can't cut it on his own, which that really speaks volumes to me because we in an independent media era, and you one of the biggest independent media. You had women like Candace Owens go out on her own and get it popping. You know what I mean? And
popping
keep
pop.
it popping. You had other white people go out on their own and cut different deals with different corporations. You so comfy under this one corporation. I feel like in this era, you should have to prove your independence to people
That's
because
why
you got so many people doing it.
that's why I respect Joe at the end of the day because he's independent at what he does and he's employing niggas being independent.
Is Joe independent? Joe who? Button?
Yeah.
Oh, I think about Joe, Fat Joe. Okay, Joe Button. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
another thing too. Joe Button, like you say, he went out, he took the risk, and he got the reward. And Charlemagne didn't like that. He was hating on that because, like I say, he don't have any balls. So
But like we said on our last show, the previous show that we did live, black people and people in general aren't the same. They're not a monolith. So at the end of the day, I really can't judge a person based upon the decisions they make because Charlemagne, he has the Black Effect podcast. He has the book imprint with Kevin Hart. He does the Breakfast Club. He does Brilliant Idiots with you know what I mean? What's white buddy name again? Andrew Schultz. So
yeah,
he's doing a multitude of things, but uh some people agree to be in that structure of I mean, not capitalist, but that corporate structure. Some people don't want to be that. They want to be independent and doing their own shit. But I don't
yeah.
know. He hating on the nigga, but he is a fuck nigga at the end of the day.
No, but salute to Charlemagne. I like some of his decisions. I like what he did in his early career. He
Mhm.
was definitely a trailblazer. No disrespect, salute to him. But as far as me engaging with his content at this point,
It's a waste of time.
it's just so much other good content out there.
Okay. Okay.
It's just so many other people being so real with it. You know what I mean?
Mm. Cam and Mace. You rock with that?
No, not really. Bro, I do not be watching niggas, bro. I don't be watching niggas, bro. You know what I be watching on YouTube? I
Talk
be
to me.
watching niggas running around catching child predators and shit.
Oh, okay.
I don't be sitting here watching niggas all day. Like, I'll watch a little bit of Antoine Deli. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. I might watch a little bit of Antoine. I got a couple other people I be watching. Miss Lowdown, O'Shea Dude Jackson, and this is different people like that, but most of it touch and go. I can't be sitting because I'm a content creator now. So, more I get into creating content, the less I listen to people, bro.
Yeah.
I listen to people just to get more context, just to see what's going on and seeing what's video worthy. But I just noticed that, like, the more I do content, it's like I don't be wanting to hear shit.
The less you consuming content.
Yeah, because if I consume a video, then I'm like, yo, time to do a video.
Okay.
And that's how I want my mind to work. You know what I'm saying? Because I made that transition.
Yeah. Because if you consuming content, you're gonna be a lot of people. I can hear it in their creativity that they still in talking points. They're listening to too many podcasts. They trying to make their imagery and creativity like other individuals, and they don't seem authentic and realistic with what they doing and what they saying. And I really don't rock with that though. But it's a new, my platform basically too, Doug, is to talk about hip hop, educate, and spew some foolishness and have a good time, man. Maybe somebody can be entertained and they can learn something at the same time. But Fat Joe and Jada Kiss just released a podcast. And Fat Joe was on the podcast and he sparked the conversation around the viral moment that happened between 50 Cent and Joe Budden at the Knicks game. And before I get into this, I want to say that that's the highest price Knicks game of all time that they went to. That playoff game. And this is what he had to say, my brother.
I'm not going 10th row. I'm not going 5th row. I gotta be front row.
So you want all the
because somebody you don't like, your enemy, gonna come sit right at, that we call that the Joe Budden seats. Them second row.
I don't even got,
a hoodie.
I don't even got a hood.
Yo, listen, them second, third row, I can't do it. I gotta sit front row. I'll give you my experience.
What do you call them seats?
The Joe Budden seats. Them shit second row. Perfect example. Him and 50 got some shit. And I'm sitting courtside and 50 comes sit.
He was right behind y'all. Though.
Okay, but he's behind us.
Those were still considered floor seats.
Those are
anything.
Listen,
I didn't know that.
It's AA and BB.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the man had a little something going on with 50, and why God put 50 Cent front row and he's in like third row? Like, that would bother me if I was Joe Buttons. It happened to me before. When we just squashed.
If he didn't bump in the 5th, would he had a nice experience?
You got a good seat, but the problem is you got to always expect the enemy might come.
That's a hard life to live, bro.
I agree with you on that.
To sit here and always be thinking about, I gotta have the best because I don't know if somebody I don't like gonna pull up with something better. Does that just apply to the game, or does that apply to everything? Do I have to have a better car because I'm afraid 50 Cent may pull up with a car better than mine? Like, that's a crazy life.
At 50, you still have that ideology. Is nuts.
I can't believe a guy who been to jail for taxes got that type of ideology. You should be the frugalest nigga out. You know what I mean? Yeah. You should be trying to waste nothing. You should be on the phone with your accountant, like at the game. Like, you sure I can come here? Like, do we got everything paid? The taxes? I ain't in nothing. I could be at the game. All right, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your thought?
You still shouldn't be talking no floss talk after you've been to jail for taxes, bro.
I agree. And this ain't even.
I wouldn't even be talking no money talk after I've been to jail for taxes. I don't want the government looking at me nothing but finances.
Yeah. In comparison, I ain't speaking nothing finances if I've been to jail for taxes, experiences, and not paying taxes. But Doug, what is your thoughts when it comes to competition in totality after what you just heard? Competing with other niggas.
I don't believe in competition because I feel like it's a waste of time. Because I feel like even if I get better than you, I'm gonna go up the road and it's gonna be somebody better than me. You know what I mean? Competition will never stop. You feel me?
I agree.
So it's better for me to be the best version of me. Let me maximize my potential. Let me maximize what I can do. I may never have a Rolls Royce, but that don't mean I'm less of a person. That don't mean I'm not happy. As long as I can get up and do what I want to do, I feel like that's a success. That's a win. Because there's so many people getting up and other people making a decision for their 8 hours, 12 hours of their day. If I can get up and make decisions for 20 hours out of my 24 hours or 19 hours out of my 24 hours, that's success to me because I'm free. Or, you know what I mean?
I want to do. Yeah.
And that don't need no competition. Because like I say, that competition shit never stops, bro. At some point, you gotta just understand that, hey, even if I get to a point where I am a Joe Budden, you know what I mean? I want to be able to still sit where I want to sit, not worry about nothing. Even if I'm behind 50, that don't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
What other people got in their bank account don't mean nothing to me.
And then why is Fat Joe like glorifying 50 Cent like it's something? Because they had beef once before. It's like it's nothing wrong to think highly of an individual, but to be glorifying them as if they're better than another individual gives me feminine energy.
You know what it is, bro? Them New York moguls done whip Fat Joe into submission. Jay-Z, Diddy, 50. He seen that, yo, these are my peers. I'm not them. You know what I mean? I got to go get a management deal from Roc Nation. I got to sit here and act like, praise God, Jay-Z jumped on my remix. You know, it's like, I still looking for favors as an old ass man. Ain't nobody saying, thank God I got a Fat Joe record. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody beat down Fat Joe like, yo, we got to get Fat Joe on the track. Niggas want to get Hove on the track. Niggas want to get Fifth on the track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Niggas wanted to be seen with Puff before this time. Niggas want to think about Fat Joe. So Fat Joe, he got to come down here to YouTube with us and do all this little shit, podcasting. Then he was doing IG Live, today's price, not yesterday's price. He trying to tell niggas what his price is. Yeah. You know what I mean? You should be priced out the game at this point. You know what I'm saying?
This niggas tired of Fat Joe.
Niggas know they can't afford 50. Niggas know they can't afford Jay. So if 50 and Jay do you something, it's for the love. Fat Joe still running around here looking for bags and checks. You ain't signing no deals.
Is niggas tired
around
of
here trying to, niggas tired of Fat Joe. He done already crossed the FBAs. You know what I mean? But it's just like all these other people, Flat Joe, go get money with strictly Puerto Rican. Don't sit next to Jada Kiss. Don't be sitting up here talking about Joe. Go talk about Iglesias and all these people and let me know what your bag looking like. You Puerto Rican. You Hispanic. Y'all got such a large population. Why you always got to lean on niggas so hard? These people will lean on you even when you tell them you don't want them around.
Should he be talking money talk with Joe Budden?
No, because you're trying to get where Joe Budden's already at. Let's play
the clip. This Joe response, and we're gonna come back and get back to cooking.
Lastly, I just don't know what Joe Budden seats mean, and because I have so much relationship equity with Fat Joe, I'll wait for him to tell me. I don't want to assume. On one hand, where I come from, you would want to be seated behind your enemy, if anything.
That's where the logic.
That's the part I didn't follow. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be seated in front of him. So If he was talking about that, I don't really get it, but that's on him. And lastly, maybe Joe Budden seats just means sitting behind somebody you make a lot more than. Until we get clarity on it, we won't really know. But be clear, reimagine how y'all mention my name in some of these conversations. I make a lot more than you niggas. So if I'm seated behind you, it's by choice, enjoying some popcorn with my baby. I say that with all the respect in the world. So much love to Fat Joe and Jadakiss. I'll continue to support their broadcast, and hopefully everyone out there will continue to do the same. But this is a non-issue, you guys. Everybody back to work. hey, if this is a non-starter. If this ever comes to be something, then we'll address it later. But Joe and I will talk. This is a non-starter. Salute to all, and go Knicks always.
That's that boss.
The nigga said this is a non-issue. Everybody go back to work.
Yeah, that's that boss talk.
Go ahead and do what y'all do. This whole ass.
I bet when that nigga said y'all go back to work, them nigga butt got tight. He like, I'm in working. I thought I was working.
You know what's crazy about that also though, Doug, is that he wasn't even hostile about the conversation or whatever. It didn't even matter to him like that. The money talk. We did a show earlier where we was talking about what's the young lady's name, fam? Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And I was saying on there that you can't decide how a person react to your actions. So Fat Joe can't be mad at Joe Budden's reaction when he the one who initiated the shit. Because to me, Joe Budden doing his thing, man. The nigga got you can see on Patreon, he got 100,000 subscribers paying $10 a piece. That's $1 million a month, man.
That's crazy.
He the biggest when it comes to pod, and I ain't even holding his nuts, pause. But he the biggest when it comes to podcast. Fan. That's just Patreon money. 100,000 subscribers.
That's crazy. I know some people ain't getting the $10 thing. They getting the upcharge one. What's the max?
That's the $10 one, fam. I don't know what the 25 and 50.
It's 100 people subscribe to the $10 one.
Because that's what I'm subscribed to, so that's probably what I could see. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, that's why I'm on the grind right now. All I need is about 1,000, man. 1,000 people, $5 a month. That's 5 bands. Hey, I'm good.
100 people.
I'm Joe Budden.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I ain't worried about competition, because people don't know what it is that you need. You know what I mean? What's a win to you? Your win ain't a win to me. You might say, yo, if your win is beating me, then that's not a win at all. You know what I mean? That's what competition is. My win is not beating Trevor Noah. That's not no win to me.
Yeah.
My win is not Trevor Jackson. I call you Trevor Noah, my bad. Trevor Jackson. That's not a win to me. That's why I like pre-recorded too. You can edit that out. But
I ain't.
That's not. Oh, you're good. You good? Hey, they light it up. But yeah, that's not a win just to beat an individual. My win is taking care of my family, making sure my kid can go to private school. That's a win to me. If Trevor Jackson is making $100 million over there on his end, hey, salute. That's good. But as long as I can take care of what I want to take care of in my vision, I'm winning.
I agree with you too, fam. I'm on that same type of time. I think that Fat Joe, at one point in time I was feeling like Counsel Fat Joe, but I feel like it's just entertainment. That nigga is straight entertainment. He's gonna always keep talking, so you can continue to be content, man. Real talk. I appreciate it. You helped me trigger the algorithm so I can keep the bread flowing in my pocket. Thank you. And quit competing and thinking that you're better than people, because if you looking down on Joe Budden, who's sitting behind you one seat, what you think about the other people in the whole stadium that's filled up in the top of the roof. You talking bad about people, and you always talking bad about people on platforms, and I think that people gonna get tired of that shit. I hope Jadakiss, because Jadakiss is one of my favorite artists. I hope Jadakiss don't get intertwined in this bullshit with Fat Joe and end up, you know, being discussed in ways that people don't like, man. Let's close the show out though with you though, Doug, and land your plane, fam. And I appreciate your time tonight, man.
No doubt, man. Salute to Jadakiss. Salute to Fat Joe. Salute to Joe Budden. Like I say, this is really, I will expect Joe Budden to be, Fat Joe to be grown up to this point. I really feel like this was something that's planned, but we're gonna treat it like it's an actual thing. And great response from Joe Budden. He didn't get all in his feelings and Joe Budden seat. That sounds crazy at 50. But salute to Joe Budden. Salute to Fat Joe. Too many Joes. Salute to Fat Joe. Because Fat Joe kind of still look relatively how he been looking for like the past 25 years. So that's a salute to him. I guess he always had that old look, so that kind of transitioned to him well, and that kind of keeps him relevant because he doesn't look all shriveled up and crazy. And Jadakiss, he got that same thing going. So salute those guys.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you for your time, fam. I'm gonna put a link in the description for y'all to be able to go follow J Doug's channel. Hey, peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure y'all go get y'all some money, and we gone, man.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.